and welcome to the ICSE Class 10 Physics tutorial. Aristotle says, Plato is dear to me, but dearer still is truth. Today we are going to learn how to verify Snell's law of refraction of light for a given pair of media. But before we start, I'll tell you 2 or 3 small definitions. First, what is refraction? Because we are going to talk about refraction of light. So what is refraction? When a ray of light passes obliquely from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, it changes its original path. It deviates from its original path. This phenomenon is known as refraction of light. So the word obliquely is important because if it falls normally, no refraction takes place. Okay, so this is refraction. Here also you will see that the ray of light is passing from one transparent medium, which is air, to another transparent medium, which is glass. Okay. Now the second thing which I want to tell you is laws of refraction of light. First, the incident ray, the normal at the point of incidence, and the refracted ray, they all three lie in the same plane. This is first law of refraction of light. The second law is the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. This is second law of refraction of light, which is also called Snell's law. And today we are going to verify this only. Sin I upon sin r is equal to constant. So what are we going to do? First of all, see the order how to write the practical. First we write down aim. Aim. What is your aim? So aim is to verify Snell's law of refraction of light. That is sin I upon sin r is equal to constant for a given pair of media. Then after that you write down apparatus required. Apparatus or material required. Alright? Then after that, you write down method, procedure. After that, under the heading method or procedure, there will be some points, how you are going to perform the practical. And then after that, there will be an observation table. Observation table. After that, if any calculation is required, there should be one heading, calculations. After calculation, then there will be next heading, result, where you write down the result. You write down from the observation table, this, that, we see that, and hence the result. And then, in the end, at last, we should write down some few precautions. What are the precautions that we are going to take while performing a particular experiment? Alright, so what we do here, we take a white sheet of paper. Alright, there is a drawing board, and then on the drawing board we fix a white sheet of paper. Suppose this is our white sheet of paper. And in the middle of the paper, we place the glass block, the glass slab, this glass slab in the middle of the paper. Alright. We draw the boundary. Alright. And then, after drawing the boundary, we remove it. Then we take any point O on this surface, which is not exactly in the middle, little bit to the left, and at this point O, which we are going to call point of incidence because we are going to take one incident ray XO, so this point O is point of incidence. at this point we draw a normal, and then we take one incident ray XO at an angle I, in general I, but in our practical we are going to take I as 30 degrees. So this angle we will measure 30 degree. Angle of incidence in our case is 30 degree. So this angle of incidence I in our case is 30 degree, and XO is the incident ray. O is the point of incidence, and this red line is normal at the point of incidence. Okay, now what we do? We draw this incident ray, and then on this incident ray we fix two pins P and Q. Two pins P and Q. Two pins P and Q. Normal pins P and Q. We fix 1 here and 1 here. And then again, after fixing the two pins P and Q, then again we place the glass block within the boundary again, and then from the other side, from this side, we look through the glass block. We look through the glass block like this. See, the glass is like this, and then you look through the glass block like this. Look through like this. Okay? And you fix a third pin R in such a way that when you see from this side through the glass block, and you see the tip of the pin, because maybe the pin that you have fixed may not be upright, may not be vertical, may not be perpendicular. Alright, maybe the pins are like this, one is like this, one is like this, and one is like this. They are not vertical, so they may not be in a straight line, on a straight line, but the tip will be on a straight line. So you see the tip of the pin. So see the tip of this pin R and the tip of the images of these two pins P and Q. You bring your eye in such a position that you could see only the tip of this pin R, and the tips of these two pins P and Q, they are just behind this. That means, what does it mean? That means all these three pins, they are in a straight line. Why? Because you can see only the first pin. The other two pins, the images, they are behind, just behind. So you have to bring your eye in such a position that you see the three pins in a line like this. Right? So bring like this, in a line. All. So you can see only this one, and these two are just behind this. You can see only this, not like this, not like this. They should be like this, right? Like this. So you can see only this one, and see the tip of the pin. Okay. After that, you place a fourth pin S. Again, you see the tip of the pin, and the pin should be upright. Try to put in a vertical position. And now see the tip of the pin, this pin. You bring your eye in such a way. How will you see? One of the eyes you place close, and then you bring your eye on this level. All right, and then you see from here through the glass block. What will you see? You bring your eye in such a position that you can see only the tip of this last pin, the fourth pin, pin S, and the other three pins, these two images and this pin, they are just behind this pin. Alright, that means they are in a straight line. Alright, when you get this, when you place the pins like this, that all the three pins, all the four pins are in a straight line. So after that, you remove the glass block and you join S and R and extend this to this point Y. Alright, and then from Y to O you join. Okay, and then with O as center and take any suitable radius, you draw a circle as big as possible, not very big and not very small. You draw a circle. Now you see, as you can see here in the figure, this circle, this XO is the incident ray, OY is the refracted ray, and YZ is the emergent ray. You can see that the circle and the incident ray the circle, the incident ray and the refracted. See the intersection point, the point of intersection. The circle is cutting the incident ray at this point F, and the circle is cutting the refracted ray at the point H. Mark them, F and H. Now from F you draw a perpendicular on this perpendicular, already drawn, already there is a perpendicular in red line, you see. So on this perpendicular you draw another perpendicular from the point F, and this is EF. EF is the perpendicular, and here it is GH. Alright. Now see here. Sin I upon sin I. What is second law of Snell's law? The ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. Alright. This we are going to show. Now what are we going to do here? We are not going to take the values of I and R. We are going to write down the value of sin I upon sin I in terms of the sides, in terms of EF and GH. See how. Now sin theta is equal to how much? Perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So perpendicular is EF. EF is the perpendicular and OF is the hypotenuse. So EF upon OF. Now sin R, this is again a right angle triangle OGH. So sin R is equal to perpendicular GH upon hypotenuse OH. So GH upon OH. Yeah. Now OF and OH. OF and OH, they are the radii of the same circle. Please see, look at it. OF and OH, they are the radii of the same circle. That means they are equal. So OF and OH, they cancel each other. So ultimately you get EF upon GH. Now measure EF, measure GH, EF and GH. Right? Measure, write down the value here, write down the value here, and then you divide. You will get whatever you are getting, that will be a constant quantity. First reading you are finding out phi is equal to 30 degree. Second reading you are going to find out phi is equal to 40 degree. The same thing you have to, the same procedure you have to repeat. The third reading you are going to find out phi is equal to 50 degree. If you wish to find out one more reading, you can go, you can find out the fourth reading also by taking I is equal to 60 degree. And in all these cases, you will see that EF upon GH is a constant. And this proves Snell's law. Okay, got it? I hope things are clear. Let's start the practical. The aim is to verify Snell's law. That is, sin I upon sin R is equal to constant for a given pair of media. Apparatus required or materials required: a rectangular glass block, a drawing board. This is not actually the drawing board, but temporary I am using this right now. Then a plain sheet, paper fixing pins, and the compass, ruler, protractor, pencil, etc. Method or procedure. The first point, we fix a plain sheet of paper on the drawing board with the help of the pins, board pins. I am using only 2 pins. You can use all the 4 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next point, place the glass block in the middle. Place the glass block in the middle of the paper and draw its boundary. I have already drawn it. You please draw its boundary using pencil. Draw its boundary. Draw its boundary. Third point, draw an incident ray XO. After drawing the boundary, you can remove this. Now point number 3, remove the glass block from here and draw an incident ray XO. I have already drawn, but you have to draw. Now you have to draw. So draw an incident ray XO approximately 8 centimeter, a rough idea I am giving you, 8 centimeter, 7 centimeter, 6 centimeter, whatever, in length, in such a way that the angle of incidence is 30 degree. And this you can measure with the help of this protractor, 30 degree, 30 degree. Alright, 30 degree, 30 degree, this incident ray. Okay. Now, point number 4. Again you place the glass block within the boundary and then fix 2 pins approximately 5 centimeter apart at P and Q. When I am saying 5 centimeter, that does not mean that exactly 5, maybe 3 centimeter, maybe 4 centimeter. The main idea is they should not be very close, so that when you touch this pin, this is disturbed, or when you touch this pin, the glass block is disturbed. Alright? So, place 2 pins approximately 5 centimeter apart at P and Q on the incident ray XO. Now, look from the other side, and now you have to see that the pins are upright. Alright? You have to see that the pins are upright. So, let me place the pins first. 2 pins, one is here and the other one is here. Okay. Now, look from the other side of the glass block and place a third pin R in such a way that when you look through the glass block, the tip of this pin, and when you see from this side, from here, through the glass block, you will see the images of these 2 pins. So you see the tips of the images of these 2 pins. So those 2 images, the tips, and this pin, the tip of this pin, all 3 should be in a straight line. How will you verify that? When you see the tip of this pin, the other 2 pins are just behind it. That means you can see only this pin. The other 2 pins are hidden behind it. If you reach this position, that means the pins are in a straight line. Okay. After that, you fix a 4th pin, pin S, in such a way that again the same thing. Now you place this 4th pin S in such a way that when you see this tip of this 4th pin, the other 3 pins are just behind it. I mean the images, these 2 pins, the images of these 2 pins and this pin. So all these 3 pins, they are just behind it. Means you can see only this pin, the first pin. If this is the position, that means the pins are in a straight line. Alright, and we want this position. We have to fix this pin, these pins in such a way that finally when you are placing this 4th pin, so this you have to place in such a way that you can see only the first pin, the tip of the first pin, and the other 3 pins are just behind it, hidden. That means they are in a straight line. Fine. Now see the position of the pin and how the pins are in a straight line. Alright, just have a look. See the pins. You have to see the tip of this pin. See the tip of this pin. Bring your eye on this level and see from here. You will see that the tip of this pin and this pin, this pin and this pin, that is P, Q and R, they are just behind it. I mean you can see only this 4th pin, S pin. The other 3 pins are hidden. Alright. If you want some more clarity, let me remove this 4th pin. Again you see this. See this, the 3rd pin. This is the 3rd pin. Already we have placed 2 pins P and Q. Now this is 3rd pin. This 3rd pin we are placing in such a way that all the 3 pins are in a straight line. And how will you verify that? You see the tip of this pin R and the tip of the images of these 2 pins. Alright, all 3 are in a straight line. How will you verify that? You can see only the tip of this pin and the other 2 pins are just behind. Got it? Understood? Now let me again place the 4th pin. I think now the things are clear. Now I am again placing a 4th pin in such a way that all the 4 pins are in a straight line. The same idea. The same idea you have to see. And please try to place the pins upright. alright, vertical, perpendicular. Now see the tip of this pin and these 3 pins. You will see that these 3 pins are just behind this pin. They are hidden. You can see only this pin. See the tip of the pin for an accurate result. Alright, so you can see very clearly that all the 4 pins are in a straight line. Is that? Please have a look. Have a look. I am giving you a few seconds, 30 seconds. Please have a look. You laterally shift your eyes and you see that now they are not in a straight line. Now again you bring in the same position. Now see, yeah, gradually, slowly and slowly. Now, yes, now see, now they are in a straight line. Got it? Now, point 5. Now we remove the glass block. Okay, we remove the pins, and one more care you have to take. Already I have done it, so you can see the small circles. You have to mark the position of the pin. The moment you remove the pin, you should mark the position of the pin. Because you know why? You are trying. You are placing the pin here, you are placing the pin here, you are placing the pin here. So finally, this is the final position. But once you remove the pin, and there are 3-4 holes, so which one is the final hole? The final position of the pin, that you may forget. So the moment, suppose there are 3-4 holes, you tried here also, right? You tried like that, and this is the final position. So the moment you remove the pin, you should mark the position of the pin. All right, remove and mark the position of the pin. Okay. Similarly here, right? Fine. Okay, you mark the position of the pin, P, Q and R, S. Okay, then after that, join R to S, SR, join SR and extend this till here. So join this, okay, SR, and this point is Y, okay. Now after this, you join OY. Okay. Then after this, next point is point number 6. Now what we do, we take this point O as the center, and by taking any suitable distance radius, we draw a circle. O is the center of the circle, and we take any suitable radius and draw a circle as big as possible, but not very big and not very small radius, right? A suitable radius. Suppose I am taking this much, all right, and I am going to draw a circle by taking O as the center. What is O? O is the point of incidence. So by taking O as the center of the circle, we are drawing a circle. And what is the radius? Any suitable distance. All right, not very big, not very small. And then I am drawing a circle. Got it? You can see this. Fine. Done. Very nice circle like that. Okay. Now next what we do. See, this is already perpendicular. All right. Now see, this incident ray XO and this circle, they intersect at this point. Okay. Let me call this point as F. All right. And let me call this point as F. Now from F, we are drawing another perpendicular on this perpendicular. Already there is a perpendicular, and on this perpendicular we are drawing another perpendicular from the point F. Okay, you please nicely draw the perpendicular using taking the help of set square. Okay, and I'm drawing but you please draw with the help of set square. a nice perpendicular. Okay, so from here we are drawing perpendicular on this perpendicular, right? And this point I am calling as E. E. The same thing we do here. This was the incident ray and circle the point of intersection, and here this is the refracted ray and the circle. The circle is cutting the refracted ray at this point. The circle is cutting the refracted ray, intersecting the refracted ray at this point. Alright, so I am calling this point as H. This point as H. Fine. Now from H, again we draw perpendicular on this perpendicular. This is already a perpendicular, and now from the point H we are drawing another perpendicular. Alright, another perpendicular. This is perpendicular. This is perpendicular. Alright, this is also perpendicular. Okay, clear? Fine. Now I am calling this point as G. GH. Okay. Done. Now what we do after this, we do the perpendiculars EF and GH with the help of set square, right? On the line MN. You can call this NM, the perpendicular NM. N and N. N and perpendicular. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we will measure the length of EF and GH. I already explained to you that sin I upon sin R is equal to EF upon GH. Now we measure. We measure EF and GH. So EF, if you measure, if you measure, you will get 1.65, and GH, if you measure GH, say this, say from here to GH, see 1.1. So GH is 1.1. Now sin I upon sin R is equal to EF upon GH. EF is 1.65 and GH is 1.1. When you divide, you get 1.5. Alright, so we got 1.5. This is the first reading when we have taken angle of incidence 30 degree. Now the same thing you have to repeat by taking angle 40 degree, 50 degree and 60 degree. That you can take, that means you have to take 3 more readings. Like now you want angle of incidence 40 degree. Alright. So this is 40, this is 50, this is 60. Now the question is, can you take all the 4 readings here only? It's up to you. If you take all the 4 readings, I think it will be very busy. So you can do one thing. 2 reading you can take this side, 30 and 40 you take here, like this. You can take one second. Now you forget about this. Now we are talking about the second reading. The second incident ray this for 40 degree. Alright. Then same procedure, you again fix the pen and you repeat the same procedure you have to repeat. Alright. So 2 readings you take this side and then turn the page, and 2 readings you take on that side, the other side. Alright, so like that you will get 4 readings, and you will see that from these observations, every time you will see that you are going to get 1.5 or little here or there, maybe 1.49. So then you can say that when you are writing down the result, you can say that from the observation table we see that sin I upon sin R is equal to 1.5 approximately, and hence Snell's law is verified. Okay, this is the result. And then finally there will be one more heading, the last heading, precautions. And as usual in the end, I'll tell you एक जोक आपको सुनाता हूँ, सुनिए. मुझे बहुत पसंद आया ये जोक. ध्यान से सुनिए. डॉक्टर ने मरीज से कहा, डॉक्टर मरीज से कहता है कि और भाई कैसे हो, सब ठीक है, तबीयत कैसी है, शराब छोड़ी के नहीं? तो मरीज क्या कहता है, जी सर, जब से आपने कहा तब से ही मैंने शराब छोड़ दी है। कोई बहुत जोर देता है, कोई बहुत जोर देता है तो थोड़ी पी लेता, वरना वैसे मैंने शराब छोड़ दी। जब से आपने कहा तब से मैंने शराब छोड़ दी। डॉक्टर साहब क्या कहते हैं? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। और ये साथ में आदमी, ये कौन है तुम्हारे साथ? का डॉक्टर साहब इसको साथ में रखा है जोर देने के लिए जोर देने के लिए। हंसते रहिए, खुश रहिए। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक